mute everyone out here in a second, but I want to welcome everybody to the Successfit team call tonight. It is May 4th, which is really crazy. It's my sister's birthday today. She's not here. But anyway, I'm really pumped tonight to have ERIKA, one of our diamonds, on the call to share some of her top tips. And, you know, I do think that everyone gets to kind of see people in the Successfit team. But sometimes I forget that I work closely with a lot of you. And if you don't know ERIKA, you know, I'm hoping she'll share just a little bit of her background and everything, but she is a total go-getter. Like, she's got a really big corporate job. She's a busy mom. She's someone you just love to be around. And she grabbed this opportunity in the late fall last year and just ran with it. So she went diamond like in record speed. And I just think I love getting a chance to work with her because she has she brings a whole different perspective, I think, of how to connect with people in a way that I think pushes the envelope for us, and brings kind of a business spin to it. So I'm really excited to have you on, ERIKA, and she's just a rad chick. So I'm going to pass it over and get you on to get chatting. I just have to comment, Carla has both her babies on. It's so cute. This is twin life, I guess. Okay, ERIKA, I'm going to unmute you because I think I muted you. So hang on here.
We're going to bed soon. Say goodnight.
Okay, good night.
I was wondering why you weren't saying hi to her, but I had you on mute. So.
Oh, I think I muted everybody here.
We're going to bed, right? Okay, I'm muting back again.
Okay. All right, ERIKA, I'm passing. You should be unmuted, and I'm going to pass it over to you.
Do I just do share screen?
Yeah. You should be able to share screen and then click on the one, and we'll get to see what you've got going on.
All right. So I did PowerPoint, and well, I'll just talk a little about myself first, because I think some people know me, but some won't. So yeah, like Rhea said, I'm a career mom, or busy career girl and a mom. And I never wanted to be a coach. I was not interested in any of this. I went to high school with Jody. She was one of my best friends, and I was in her wedding, and I saw her getting fit and everything. And I just started reaching out to her when I was having trouble with my current gym, overworking myself. And so yeah, I got on PIO, and I thought I'll just do this for 1 month just to get, rest my body up with this little light program. And then I'll go back to the gym. And that was in July. And then I signed up as a coach at the end of September, and I just loved it. So here I am. And like Rhea said, I do business development. I have a very busy job, business development across Canada. And I've been in sales for 12 years. I'm actually a teacher, but I didn't have a job, and at the time this opportunity came up, and it's been great for me. It's really decent income, and I really enjoy it. And I find a lot of what I do in the corporate world does relate to Beachbody, and I'm going to share it with you guys what I know, and I hope it's not too boring. I'm going to share some of the super boring training that I've had, but kind of in the perspective of how I relate it to Beachbody, and I hope you find it helpful. So yeah, I'm going to share the screen now. Select a window or an application you want to share. There it is. Okay, can you guys see that?
Not quite yet. You should, when you click share screen, you click on the application you want. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Oops.
Yes.
Zoom slideshow. There we go. Okay, so before I delve into what I was going to talk about today is basically a short form version of the sales cycle. And I know we don't like to say we're salespeople. Don't say you're a salesperson, but you kind of are. You just don't know it. You're going through a cycle with your clients, and I'm going to go through it in a very roundabout way without getting into too much detail. But two things that I wanted to go over first really quickly are, the first thing is the importance of listening. So that little kind of graphic I have on the side, though, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. Most people listen with the intent to reply. And this is something that you might want to just catch yourself. And I know in our world, a lot of what we're doing is in a text or a message or an email. But if you're having conversations with people, you have to catch yourself. And I did this a lot in the beginning with my career, where you're listening a little bit to what they're saying, but you're already thinking about what you're going to tell them. Don't do that. really listen and understand it and think about what they're saying. So that is like, you know, kind of the pinnacle of where to start, you know, with being successful. And then the second thing are the 7 habits of highly effective people. So this goes hand in hand with, you know, personal development. And a lot of what I talk about is going to be similar to what you've probably read in some of the personal development. So things to strive for. So number 1, be proactive. And this is our business. I mean, take initiative. Don't post on Facebook and wait for people to come to you. It's not going to happen. I mean, it will happen maybe once or twice, but this business, and I think most businesses, driven by your initiative and what you put out there by personally reaching people. So take the initiative. That's number 1. Number 2 is begin with the end in mind. And anyone in a sales position knows end in mind is like a big sales term. And it really does apply to Beachbody, because anytime you're going to have a conversation, you're going to reach out to someone, you're going to be thinking, what do I want to accomplish here? So even if you're just reaching out to someone to connect, you want to have an end in mind. And maybe that end in mind is, you know what, I haven't talked to this person in 20 years. My end in mind is to get them to think about fitness. Or my end in mind is to get them to ask me, what are you doing these days? You know, so you would start by talking to them about their life. But you need to go into that conversation with your end in mind. So that's just, you know, sales 101. Habit number 3 is put first things first. Again, this is your power hour. This is Beachbody. It's already built into our program. Your power hour, prioritizing, making your lists. What are the things that are most important? And if you've done other personal development, the things that are most important that you're going to prioritize first are the things that are the hardest. Personal invites, things that are the toughest things to do, put those first on your list. Get them out of the way first. That's just, it's so much easier if you do that. You can post and do all the other fun stuff, but those aren't the things that are going to get you where you need to go. Habit number 4 is think win-win. Bad salespeople think win for themselves first. And this goes with this business as well. Win-win is win for you, but also win for your clients. You know, you want to help people, but you also don't want to give away everything for free. You want to help yourself as well. We're in a business here, so of course, you want to give things for free. You want to provide value to people, but it has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. Habit number 5, and this kind of goes with the part about intent to understand. Seek first to understand people and then to be understood. So don't go into conversations thinking about, oh, I would love to have this person as a coach, or, oh, I'd love to have you, you know, in my challenge group. Really listen and force yourself to think about their needs and understanding what that person is telling you. Because sometimes we're so, you know, maybe we're at Success Club 4 and you're like, I really need this person to join. And you're so kind of tunnel vision on thinking, what can I say or do to convince them? Don't do that. Just force yourself to think about what are they saying to you, and, you know, the questions you need to ask to get them to go in that direction. Habit number 6 is synergize. And what that is, you know, in this business too, you can't run a team or a business by yourself. You need other people. You need to collaborate with people. You need cooperation. You need to learn from people. You know, things like co-coaching with some of your coaches on your team, or empowering a challenger in your group to, you know, start doing a couple posts or a little contest. Empower the people that are showing leadership skills. So that's what Synergize is about, empowering your people, cooperating and collaborating. And then habit number 7 is reflecting on, you know, your day, not just your day, but reflecting on everything you do, reflecting on the activities, what could have gone better, you know, what went well, and change, sharpen the saw, change what didn't go well for you, change your, you know, if you're doing something, well, they say insanity is, you know, basically doing the same thing and getting no results. So why would you continue to do that? Change what you're doing. So be reflective on, is your strategy working? What you're saying to people, is it having an impact? Are your posts reaching the right people? If they're not, change it. That simple. So those are the 7 habits. And I decided to throw that out there because it really does kind of go hand in hand with the sales cycle and how things go. All right, so we'll move on to my next slide if I can figure it out. Okay. So the sales cycle explains. So as I said, we always say Beachbody isn't about sales, but what we do as coaches is help people, and check out the definition of sales. Helping clients succeed is the essence of sales. The more passionately and skillfully we focus on creating success for our clients, the more successful we will be. Okay, so helping clients succeed, that's what we do. And the thing is, nobody grows up saying, I want to be a salesperson. I mean, I didn't say that. I wanted to be a teacher, and then I became a teacher. And even as a teacher, you're selling curriculum to students. A doctor, you're selling, you know, whatever, a mode of therapy or a procedure to your patients. So they're selling, even as a mom, you're selling your food, you're selling your meals to your kids. So there's some type of sales and influential behavior in pretty much everything we do. Yeah, so don't call it sales if it makes you feel icky. Call it helping people, but know if you have an actual system in place by which you do it successfully, and then you learn to duplicate it, then you're going to succeed. So there are 4 parts to the sales cycle. So I don't know if you can see the little graphic on the side there. That I took that from the book that my company bought. It's called Franklin Covey. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's, you know, a pretty revered professional in sales training and personal development. So the 4 cycles are the plan, which is your activities. That's your power hour. So what do you need to do to get where you need to be? Okay. So everything in your plan, your lists, you know, whether it be daily, weekly, monthly, that's where you plot out what you're going to do and what you're going to achieve. So Beachbody is great because it lays it out simply for us. They want us to get to Success Club 5 or 10 every month and sign a couple coaches a month. So we base our activities, which is the next one. Well, no, so you base your activities around, you know, those kind of goals that Beachbody has set. And then you would have your own goals about rank advancement or whatever else is in your personal plan. So that's key. You can't do this without a plan. And there isn't necessarily one system or way of organizing that's the right one. It's whatever works for you and whatever you can do and duplicate consistently with success every single month. So from your plan comes your pipeline. And in our world, this would be the list. So you're making your lists every week or month of your potential challengers, your coaches. So you're going to go through, you're going to make those lists. And then qualifying is the flow. And that part is so important. Qualifying is, you know, going through that list and seeing, you know, who is actually serious about this, and put them in a different list of, yes, they're definitely joining for May. These people maybe June. These people maybe December. These people maybe next year. You know, so qualifying the people in your list and then taking the time to spend on the ones that are a yes right now or that you think could be a yes this month. So you don't want to spend a lot of time focusing on people who you're pretty sure would take a lot of time to work with and they're just not ready yet. Let them be not ready and go back to them later. So yeah, the next step is qualifying the pipeline. So yeah, that's where we're private messaging people. So you want to weed out the people and make the list of definitely the go, maybe, not now, never, whatever works. And then you have a sidebar of potential coaches that will come to mind. So if you're having conversations with people, you might even in your conversations be thinking this person's going to be a challenger, but they might also be a great coach. So that's another part of the pipeline, filling your pipeline with potential coaches. Even if you know they're not ready right now, they're on your list. They're on your list, on your pipeline for coaches. So you spend the time and the multiple follow-ups, and up to 8 to 12 follow-ups, standard issue. Honestly, you have to follow up so much. And I think we all know that. And you try to think, like, how do I sound not annoying? Well, I don't think it's annoying. And I've never had anyone tell me, even on the 8th, 10th time that I'm being annoying. People actually thank you and say, you know what? I forgot. Thanks for reminding me about that. Slipped my mind. Yeah, I'm ready to do this or not. So yeah, you're going to have to send them multiple follow-ups. And a little tip, the top 5% of high-performing sales professionals spend 95% of their time qualifying, And that is the part that is the hardest for a lot of people. It's hardest for me too, is the private messaging. Spending 95% of your time in those private messages, whether it be inviting to the coaching or inviting to a challenge group. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I try to do. It's very hard, but I think as you continue to do that, you have more and more success. So the final step in the sales cycle is the win. And once you've got to the win, you understand, you've gone through the whole process and you understand, oh, this is what I did to get to the win. And you're going to duplicate that and just do it again and again every single month. That's basically, that's the basic sales cycle. So before talking to potential clients, you want to set yourself up. You want to set yourself up.
There's a quick question, ERIKA, on the follow-up. Trish was asking in the comments here, how often are you following up? Like, do you have a system for how often you follow up with people?
Honestly, I don't. I personally, like I said, there's no, however your organization is, I'm old school and I'm not like Larissa. I don't have this big system and I'm probably not as organized as I should be. Everything's on a list and paper, and I put check marks beside people. But I just go through my messenger and I follow up with people depending on the person. And I'll get into this a little bit more. You really have to cater your follow-ups to the person's personality. Some people, I will follow up with them every day because I know that's their personality. And I know I kind of have a banter with them where I can be a little sarcastic or I can be a little bit like pushy because that's their personality. Other people, I know that if I push them, they will get offended. So my follow-up will change. So yeah, I guess that's not really answering your question, Trish, but yeah, I personally, I don't have a system. Maybe someone else does. I make checklists and like a list of people's names. And then I put a check mark beside people's names once I followed up. And then I go through Messenger and rely on Messenger and see when's the last time I followed up.
That's great. And Trish, just to give you an example, like, I mean, I'm with you, ERIKA, that some of it has to do with the person, but I literally follow up with everyone I've ever invited every month. Every time I go to do a new challenge, I re-invite those people. I follow up with them and re-invite them. And my thought process is until you tell me to bugger off or you die, you're on that list. And I think it really has served me well and that I haven't bothered people. You know, I really do think when you got to give them some time, but once a month to remind people that you're there when they're ready, give them permission to say no. Like if now's not the time, that's totally okay, but I'm here when you're ready. Has worked very well for me, but I do it every month. So but anyway, sorry, ERIKA.
And I know I do the same thing. All the people, like even for April, all the people say, oh yeah, I'm ready. And then they just don't respond to my message. Well, guess what? They're getting a message this week or they've already gotten a message this week. Okay, you missed April, starting a new challenge in May. And I will remind them every single month. And until I've had no one say, don't contact me anymore. So I'll keep letting them know. Same thing. Thank goodness for Messenger. I hope they don't change that. So yeah, before talking to potential clients, you want to set yourself up, and this is part of closing. So there's 3 steps to closing the sale. So it's basically mindset, skill set, and the result. So broken down, again, we talked about this, always be clear on what your end in mind is. In our world, it may be to get someone to join your challenge group or to join your team, but be clear on that before you have that conversation. The skill set involves how you communicate with someone. And this is what we're kind of just talking about. Listen to what they are telling you. All of people's decisions are based on emotion rather than facts. So you need to figure out what is their sticking point? What are they emotional about? And that goes back to once you know what they're emotional about, what's important to them, that ties into how do you follow up with that person? Because it could be different for this person versus this person. They're all going to have different emotions and different strength or strong points and strong opinions on things. So I just say don't spout a bunch of facts about programs, Shakeology, etc. That will make your conversation really surface-based, and it's not going to address the client's emotions, not in the first conversation. So when going into a conversation, that's what you want to do, is address their key beliefs and hit onto their emotions. Think about the person, anticipate what their objections may be based on their life, not your life. Don't think about you. Think about that person. Where do they stand in their life, so that you're prepared to answer the objections in a way that will influence them to the right decision. Okay. So for example, if the objection is price, but they already eat healthy, don't use the drive, and they don't use drive-through restaurants, don't focus on the money they are saving by not eating out, because that's not going to be something of importance for that person. So think about the objections in a way that, you know, this person, I know that they are a stay-at-home mom. So, you know, things that are important to them are, you know, being able to get a workout in while their children are sleeping, or being able to eat on the go, not because they dabble into fast food, but because they don't have a lot of time. So you want to think about their life and how to frame the objections or your response to objections in a way that it impacts their life, not Beachbody blurbs and things like that. What else? So yeah, you want to prepare the conditions for making good decisions. And that's how you do that, by shutting down their objections in a way that pertains to their life. Oh, here's another one. I know we talk, like, you know, in a lot of the Beachbody blurbs, they talk about, you know, the access to on-demand. Okay, well, I have a lot of people that sign up for programs or are interested in programs. I don't talk about on-demand for people that live in the country, because that is something that they're not going to care about. And often, to be honest, I don't even use the word Beachbody until people are ready to buy. I say, here's my link. People don't even know the word Beachbody until they are, how do I do this, ERIKA? Because it's not about the program. It's not about the Shakeology. It's about what's going to work for them and how we're going to help them. Okay. Does that make sense?
I love that, by the way. I love that. Like, I mean, it's almost like it's the best thing when people are like, what is this Beachbody thing, after they've already agreed to join you, because that's not the point. The point is they have amazing tools, but it's you that people are buying, right? Like, it's you and what you're telling them works because you have experience with it, and it's the answer you're providing for them. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Finally, tips. Never beg someone or ask people to reconsider if they say no. Walk away. This is something, sales 101, again, that we spent so much time going over this, and we had to role play and everything in our training, but someone's not interested, pull it back from them. You're not interested in them, you know, walk away. You're a busy person. You have groups to run, you have other people who need help. So let them, you know, tell them you're busy too, and not, you know, in a nice way, but it's okay to walk away. You don't want to come off as desperate or that you like need the sale, because that really, it lowers the integrity of what you're doing as well. So accept no from people. You know, it's really important. I know you don't want to accept no, but you have to. I kind of touched on this, but don't verbal diarrhea Beachbody on people. It's too much product talk. And I suspect that some of my coaches have done this. Because, you know, sometimes even in the scripts, a lot of the scripts in the online office, I find are far too salesy and far too product. I like to take a lot of that out and talk first. When I have a conversation with someone, I don't mention the product. I talk first about where they're at with their life. What do they struggle with? Product is the very last thing you want to talk about. Use words that evoke emotion, that get them thinking about the value you're going to bring them rather than products. Be confident, even if you're not confident. People buy from who they like. So if they are talking to you, they like you. If you are confident, they're going to buy from you. Because if you're not confident, people are going to wonder if you believe in what you're doing, if you believe in the program, and if it's working for you. Okay, so even if you're not confident, you can fake it. And I've done it. You can fake it, and you can fake it by listening to your PD. Yeah, listen to PD. And another thing, you know, if you're not feeling super confident, you know, a really simple thing to do is in the morning, get up and write out gratitudes and positive affirmations in the mornings. And they talk to us about this all the time in our sales training. Positive affirmations every day to slowly build on your confidence. Do them before you start sending out all those private messages, and stand in front of the mirror and, you know, you're beautiful and you're smart and you're, you know, it sounds silly, but it works. So yeah, that's that. And then closing, scary. No, closing is a good thing. It is a good thing. All it means is that you have actually provided someone with enough information that they are ready to make a decision. So you've done your job. Closing isn't an event. It's not like a, okay, you know, we're ready to do this. It's a process, and you've brought them to that process by doing a good job. So you should be happy about this idea of closing. So closing zone best practices. Carefully organize each customer discussion to influence and benefit. So we kind of talked about this. Again, so when you're getting people to make that final decision, you want to focus on what is specifically going to influence them in their life to make the decision to join with you. Not about Beachbody, not about 21-day fix. What's going to work in their life? What about their life is needing something? What is missing? How does your product fill that need without talking about the product part of it? You know, what can you talk about that's going to evoke emotion for those people? That's where you're going to get them to make their decision. And let me see. Be more direct. So again, remember your end in mind. For example, think of these two phrases. So I know I've given you a lot to think about. When is a good day to follow up with you on your decision? Okay, that's one way of saying it. Or I could say, so I know I've given you a lot to think about. Let me know if you're interested. Never use that phrase, let me know if you're interested, because you're taking the onus off of the person. You're basically telling them, you don't ever have to let me know if you're interested. If you come out with a direct question, such as, when is a good day to follow up with you on your decision? They can't say, okay. They'll say, oh, well, you kind of put them on the spot, right? And they might say, oh, okay, well, you can follow up with me on Monday, right? So you're going to get an answer, whereas let me know if you're interested. You've given them an out to never say anything to you. So I try to stay away from those words. What else? Oh, I also like to give people a cutoff date. And if you don't know when your challenge group is running, create a date. And maybe you have to change that date, but create the date and use it when you're talking to people. So again, that's instead of that whole let me know when you're interested. This is when we're starting. My cutoff date is here. So maybe I can get in touch with you on Tuesday and get you started. Something like that. So by being a little bit more direct, you've provided people with all the information, you're providing them with value, they're still talking to you, so they're still interested. So now it's time to take that to the next step. And then leave it at that, okay? So leave it at that, don't beg. If they still are, you know, not gonna give you a day, then at that point I would walk away and let them be. And then you follow up for the next month because they're not ready. A note on best practices. So don't use a one solution works for all mentality when it comes to approaching customers that are qualified, you know, and I keep kind of repeating it in different ways, but you know, what works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for the next person. So it's really about narrowing the decisions down for each individual person based on what is emotional for them. If it's their kids, great. If it's their pets, great. If it's their, you know, time away from their family, whatever, if it's their nutrition, whatever makes them emotional, that's where you want to focus on. Okay. Let me see. And objections. So 3 parts to the objection. So you want to acknowledge the concern. You don't want to agree or disagree with it, but you want to acknowledge and say, oh, I understand where you're coming from, without saying too much. Acknowledging it and then understanding it. And instead of our initiative or our instinct when people are saying no to something is to speak. Don't speak. Ask questions and listen. If ever you feel conflict or uncomfortable in a conversation about coaching or whatever, challenge yourself to not start talking, because when you get nervous, that's when you start to talk. Don't talk. Maybe ask a question that is open-ended and listen. Try that, because that's where you're going to get to the real nature of what their concern is and what the objection actually is. And from there, because you know this person, because you've asked questions in the beginning, you're going to resolve it in a way that caters to what is emotional for them, because you know some of those earlier points that were talked about. Okay. And this is just kind of a final slide. Sorry, it's a little blurry, but yeah, a couple of the things that I thought were really kind of important. One of the best predictors of ultimate success in either sales or non-sales selling isn't natural talent or industry experience, but how you explain your failures and rejections. So how you deal with objections, and how you explain yourself, and the communication is the most important part of this. It doesn't matter that I have sales experience. It doesn't matter that whatever, you know, I'm no different than you guys are. It's about how you communicate with your people. Okay, so you want to pretend that every single person you meet has a sign around his or her neck that says, make me feel important. Not only will you succeed in sales, but you'll succeed in life. When you make people feel important, they're going to want to be around you. They're going to want to do things with you, and they're going to want to tell people about it. And the last one, the sales statistics. So if you kind of read down, 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So, and it says there, I don't think this is true in our business, but 48% of salespeople never follow up with the prospect. I mean, I hope that's not true. 12% make 3 contacts and then stop. So just take note of that, that you have to ask people multiple times in different ways, and then ask those direct questions. And that's it. Sales training 101. Yay.
That was solid sales training, honestly. I know I need a giant wipe. I could probably spend half an hour just talking about what I loved about that presentation, ERIKA. So thank you. And I do want to see if anyone has any other questions, but I just, you know, I think there's that 48% or the 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th content. Like that is why the compound effect is so powerful. And that is why I think people give up in this, because it's like they give up right before, you know, all the seeds that they have planted are ready to be reaped. Right. And I think that's such a powerful statement, but I just want to say, like, I loved what you talked about in listening to people's needs, and really just taking the time to listen and really be a friend. Like, don't even worry about this whole concept of sales. Just think about being a friend, listening to your friend, because I think, you know, closing these sales or helping people is about 2 things. It's about willing and it's about able. And the cool part is the willing. If you have a helping heart, like if you want to listen, like you were saying, if you want to take the time to listen to people and you have that helping heart, the able part, the ability, these skills that you've now shared with us, you know, to take the time to ask questions and not talk first, and to take the time to not, you know, verbal diarrhea all over people. Like, those are just skills and practice. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes for you to listen, you know, in a way, hear quicker what people's struggles are and share in a more accurate way. And I think that's a really important thing for people to realize. Like any job, when we start out, you know, it takes a good 6 months, to find your bearings in something. So make sure you're giving it that patience and recognize that helping people, the way ERIKA has now shown us tonight, really is a skill that, as long as you have a helping heart, you can develop on. It just takes time. What questions? Does anybody have any questions for ERIKA before we close out? But I think that was so great, ERIKA. Honestly, those were some amazing points. I'm not surprised you've been so successful.
I have a question.
Go for it, Jody.
Thank you, Erica. That was awesome.
No problem.
This is a real struggle for me because I'm very sensitive, and when people don't want what I have, I recoil. And one person comes to mind, and I just reached out to the other day. I talked to her months ago. We were like in the process of discussing the program. It was going to be great for her, and she was going to do it. And like we were at that stage, and then crickets. And I made a mistake. Before she bought the challenge pack, I said, oh, if you have any friends that want to join you, invite them. And I think what she probably did was went to her friends and someone said, oh, so-and-so's a coach. Let's do it with her. This is the story I've written in my head anyway. So fine, months go by. I keep following up with her. Like, no, I'm not. I don't, she keeps giving me reasons. And the other day I reached out to her and asked her how she was doing and how she was doing with her goals. And she just wrote back like one sentence, like, thanks for thinking of me, but I'm on another program right now. And then that was it. And so in my head, I go, don't ever ask her again. She doesn't want anything to do with you. But so what you're saying is keep asking, keep inviting, keep reaching out, because that just terrifies the crap out of me. So what do you guys say to yourselves in the morning that stops you from having that fear?
That sounds like a no.
Does that sound like a don't ever? So maybe that was a leave.
Well, so for that person, I would, the only thing I would ask if I reach out to them again is, how is your program going? Like the one that she committed to. So like you can still message her about her, her program. Oh, how is it going? Like, and I would have wrote back right away when she said that. I would have been like, great. Like, I'm so glad to hear you're doing something. Like, how is it going?
Yeah, I did. I said, awesome. Good luck. I felt embarrassed though. And then I spaz out and I need to just take a breath, I think.
Yeah, Jody, don't feel embarrassed with that, because really it was you reaching out to her in the first place that probably inspired her to pick something. Yeah. And that is the valuable point here. Like we can't, like, I know we want to help people our way, but I think at the end of the day, if we're just trying to be the light for other people to follow, and if we inspire them in a certain direction, like it's just karma. Eventually it'll come back. But I think you're right. I think Chanel's right. And it sounds like you did the right thing. Just be happy for them that they started on that way. And I think when you can do that for people and just be happy for where they're at and love them where they're at, that's what I mean by love them where they're at, Chanel. We've been talking about this. That's exactly it. I think, you should feel proud, because it was because of what you did and what you put out there that got her going somewhere in the first place.
Okay.
And Jody, don't forget, I told you, absolutely no way I'm not doing your crazy program.
Yes, you did.
Then I told you, no way I'm not being a coach. I'm just a discount coach. And
here you
tomorrow I should be Emerald.
Yeah.
So
yes. Yeah, that's such a valuable point. And
right?
ERIKA, I was on the call with ERIKA when she was like, not doing this.
Yeah. And she wasn't going to do Shakeology.
So you're right. That's a valuable point, Sabrina. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina.
What else? Does anybody else have any other questions? I know, Jamie, you asked about going back a slide. I've recorded this, so at least we'll have it for you to go back and take a look.
Jody, another thing too is, if this person fails on the program that they're doing now, who do you think they're going to go to after? You. Because they're seeing it. Oh, you're muted, Jody.
Clearly, I need to do some confidence boosting for my personal development right now.
So you need the affirmation.
Yeah. And you're right. Like, I need to just keep going and trying to be positive. Yeah. Right.
You should do the affirmations every day. That would be
that
great.
Little girl on her bathroom counter, like, I love my house. I love my life. Have you guys seen that?
No.
But yes, okay, I will. Tomorrow morning. It's on.
That is a really valuable point, ERIKA, that you made about, like, there's an element of faking it till you make it. Like, don't ever forget, you always hear those stories, but like, even if you just can put on a smile, like you smile at a stranger and then how that pays forward somewhere, like even just a simple thing like that. But remember how this affected your life. And I feel like that always helps me with confidence when I'm talking to other people. How has this changed your life? And what has that brought for you? And then that helps me, to share that.
I don't know if you guys know the coach Angie Belmar, but I watched this video on her, and before she was anything, she hadn't even signed a coach yet. She faked it, like, to get her first coach. She was like, yeah, this is awesome. I have a team. And like, she was just super confident. And she has been that way since like day one, because she believed in the program and she was doing it herself. But like, that's the kind of attitude that you need. It's like, it is the fake it till you make it, but you're not really faking it because you're doing it yourself anyways and you believe in it.
Right.
So yes, Trish. So fake it like Angie.
Can you guys all be in my bathroom in the morning tomorrow?
Awesome. Oh, you guys,
I'll be there.
This is a great call tonight. Thank you everyone for being on. And I hope I didn't miss any questions in here, but I think it looks like, we got through. ERIKA, thank you so much. That was really awesome. I feel like this is going to be a great call that we can now refer back to so much. But awesome being on tonight, guys. It's a brand new month. Let's go change some lives. So have a good night's sleep.
Good night.
And say those affirmations.
Night.
Thanks, guys. Bye.